Yeah, an intentional community, from my understanding, is a broad term used to describe a group of people living together in community. So they live in a house and they're making community out of that living situation. So a lot of times if you're just a roommate, you got your own distinct room and your own distinct life. This brings people together in, whether it's food or social activities or a common vision. A lot of people do a variety of different things with that, but it's an opportunity to create community within the place that you live and spend a lot of your time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How much money do they have to pay?
Well, that depends on the type of community that it's in, and most of them are trying to make it affordable. The cost of housing in Minneapolis has become very expensive, especially for young people. So this has been seen as a solution to that problem, and other people as well. I mean, this is a opportunity for people to share resources, share internet, share food, share vehicles, which when you do share, that creates a less individualistic society or communal space,
Mm-hmm.
which brings people together, makes closer bonds.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and how many people could live in one house?
Technically under the law, either 3 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's according to the zoning district. So the problem with many of the intentional communities in Minneapolis is that it's 3.
Mm-hmm.
And many of them are hiding in the shadows. They're not wanting to make any waves. They're basically they're doing a lot of good in the community, but they're not wanting to be very public in that way because it's illegal.
Mm-hmm.
For example, the house that was next to me was an old boarding house, had 8 bedrooms. I think they had 8 to 10 bedrooms, and they had 7 or 8 people living there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very much on their mind. And a lot of intentional communities, it's the same thing. It's very much on their mind. This house right here, very much on my mind. And I specifically asked the rental inspector, and she said, specifically, if it is as a way the house is technically as a duplex right now, and there's 10 bedrooms, so you can only have 6 people living in here. And she was very warning me that if I did not do that, she would probably do something because of that. So.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that maybe there is something that needs to be fixed or modified in the law so people can increase the number of people?
Yes.
Maybe because probably intentional communities is not something popular.
Yeah, I think this is a great thing for society. It can be a good thing if utilized in the right way. And all the intentional communities that we have a network of intentional communities, and all of them are doing really good things in the community. And so it is a pathway for that,
Mm-hmm.
for becoming a more communal society, like we once were. We've become a very individualistic society,
Mm-hmm.
and this is a push back towards that path. There's a lot of countries around the world that are a little bit more communal, and they have a lot more peace and a lot less hostility, a lot more equality. There's a lot of benefits, I think, to this way of life, and I would like to see this become not only allowed but a right? I mean, like, why is it that we cannot organize as people and live together? And we're kind of like a family, you know. So like when our community disbanded recently because of government obstruction, it was super sad, and it was like our family was breaking up, and I don't think government should be involved in that. And unfortunately they have in the past, and they will continue to be unless we do something.
Exactly. And what are the things that people can share in these communities?
Can share food. Food is a very communal thing. If anybody's ever gone out to eat, you understand it's a very communal activity. Social activities, we are becoming more, at least with the advent of Facebook, a lot more social in our activities. A lot of young people that's how they become aware of different events that are going on. So like we'll create events, and then we'll invite other intentional communities or other people from around the area doing free schools, or doing, there's one house that's does meditations, and anything. I mean, it's a canvas to be painted. I mean, literally you can share anything with people. It's a great path to, again, get away from the individualistic of I've got to own every single thing, which is wasteful, hard on our environment. And I think this is a good path to get away from that.
And do they normally eat together, or that is optional?
It depends on the community. So like the one Dreamland one house, which I was a member of, it was we each had our own kitchen, we each had our own bathroom, we had some communal spaces, so like we would have coffee or tea in the morning together and do like meditation. And we would have meals, but I would say it was hard to coordinate everybody together because people are so busy. So that was a challenge. It's not as though we didn't want to, it's just, you know, I would go over and knock on my neighbor's door and be like, hey, do you want to cook with me, you know, or, which, you know, you normally wouldn't do with your neighbors quite so much. But in intentional communities, it's not, there's not a lot of barriers to doing that. It's just like, hey, what do you think about making some Indian tonight, you know? So, yeah, food's a great one, so.
Okay. And could you maybe mention the main benefits? I think you already said something about it, but maybe you can put them together, and something else that you may want to.
The main benefits of living in intentional communities? Cost sharing, so it makes it more economical. It makes for a better society in my eyes. People who live communally are not going to be depressed, they're not going to have I mean, they may, but I feel like when you know you've got somebody who has your back all the time, it's always, it just always felt like you had support. And I think in our individualistic society that I grew up in, I felt very alone at times, and not having very much support, and always feeling like there was something that was missing. You know, maybe when I had really good roommates that I got along with, or a girlfriend, but I think this type of living situation is very supportive, and probably evolutionarily, I would say more natural for most of the history of humanity anyway. We've probably been more on the communal side than the individualistic. This is, I think, an aberration, the more recent turn of being individualistic.
And obviously, they can people in the intentional community, they can share get advantage of many things like sharing things like obviously food or resources, like telephone services, for example, just to mention one of them, one of the services. So they can have one package like family.
Oh, family plan. I
For
never
example,
even thought of that. Yeah.
just for example, to
I mean,
say,
there's tons of different things, you know, that.
just one simple example like that, so they can have the benefit or advantages of things like that. Just to say, to mention one example like that one, and obviously buying things together, like maybe you just go to the grocery store once per week or once per month maybe.
Saves
and
you a lot of time.
You save a lot of time and money.
Yeah.
Because you buy big amounts.
Yeah.
And there are many other examples like that where the members can save a lot. Yeah. And to use the resources, of course, also.
Right.
Same resources for everybody. And if you want to say something else, just to finish this interview.
I would just say that we're normal people. A variety of different backgrounds. We try to get diversity in there. We're very conscious of that, though we don't always succeed in getting that. But I think if you look at the past, way past, if you look at the present and you look at the future, I think this is a really great solution for people coming together and uniting. And I've had nothing but great experiences with it and want to continue in this way of life. So yeah, and I think it should be right. I think it should be right, and I don't think just because you have more than 3 people, I don't think that we should be discriminated against because of that. Like, just because you have more people means you're going to make more noise, or, you know, there's a lot of fears that are not based upon reality. It's basically what I'm getting at. So, see the beauty in people, not the irrational fears.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Well, I have one more question about how many intentional communities do you think there are in this country, in United States? Just.
Oh boy, that's a good question. If you go on intentionalcommunities.org, there's the actual directory, so you can look in whatever state or country around the world. If I had to guess, because I don't know exactly, I would say there are probably about 300, somewhere in that ballpark. I know in California alone there's like 60 to 80. There's a lot that are trying to form, and these are becoming, especially the young people who want to be more communal and sharing, becoming a very more popular way of living. They're naturally doing it anyhow as roommates because they want to. It's a natural way of keeping costs down. So.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, and I want to ask to the audience at YouTube that if they want to share this video, please do, because other people may find this video useful, and please share it within your circles. Thank you very much, Joseph.
All right, thanks, Pedro.
Thanks.